Aurea, so you were muted. You're muted. Aurea, you're muted.
I was muted that whole time.
Yes.
We were putting it in the
I
chat.
did that. Let's do that again. I can't believe
That's
that.
okay. That was practice. That was just practice.
I've never done that before. Oh my gosh, that was a great opening.
That's okay. It's all that superstar energy from you, Aurea.
Oh, what if I can end this and still use this? Hold on. Welcome again to. Hold on. Now I'm on. Hey everyone, this is Aurea McGarry, your host of Get Celebritized. I come to you every week and give you empowering guests that help you earn more so you can live more, live a big, vivacious, juicy life, and give back more to the causes and charities that matter most to you. And today I'm bringing on two very special guests that are embodying helping you be healthier, wealthier, wiser, and living that big, audacious life on purpose. One of my guests today is none other than Veronica Atkins. Veronica is an international financial empowerment coach, formerly with Morgan Stanley. She empowers women around the world, especially women with disabilities and single mothers are part of her biggest passions. She does actually currently has long-term COVID. So lean in if you wanted to learn how to keep your options open, earn more money, should you have any kind of disability, whether it's long-term COVID or just some type of health issue that prevents you from working at your optimal best. We're going to talk about that today. And with her, joining her is Dimitri Mills Jr., MBA. He's a wealth management specialist, international business and marketing professional. They work together. They're coming here to help you earn more so you can live more, so you can give back more. And they have a nonprofit organization as well. So here we go. You ready to meet them? Let's bring them up. Let's bring up the beautiful and gorgeous Veronica. Welcome to the stage. And the handsome, wonderful, fabulous professional.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
My goodness. So good to see you. Veronica, we're going to start right off with you because we got to know each other online and, in the audio rooms. And your story really hit me that I really wanted to talk about it because there's so many people still suffering from COVID or disabilities of some sort, and they're just not at their optimal health, but maybe they have to leave a job or they can't clock in like they used to. They're just struggling with long-term something. And I know you specialize in working with single mothers, with women with disabilities, but you have long-term COVID that's affected your life. So let's start right there, and then Dimitri will bring you back up. Let's hear a little bit of your story, Veronica. I'm going to help them earn more and make more.
Absolutely. So hello, everyone. Yes, my name is Veronica Atkins. As you mentioned, I'm a international financial empowerment coach. So my story happened when I was at the company Christmas party at Morgan Stanley, literally the best day of my life, dancing, having a good time. And then I got a hug from my manager, and he did not know that he had COVID. Now, prior to him hugging me, I had already been battling long COVID for about a year, but I was just starting to get better. Until he gave me that hug, I got sick of COVID again. And when someone with long COVID catches COVID again, it is a completely different outcome. I wasn't able to walk. I wasn't able to talk. I wasn't able to move. The chronic fatigue that we experience as COVID long haulers will literally stop us and prevent us from doing anything. Just walking downstairs alone could be extremely exhausting for us. I wasn't able to even finish cooking. I suffered from brain fog for my son. I couldn't even read for a couple of months because I would be staring at a wall from what they call head in the clouds. And I was there's body ache, there's a lot of suffering. And I decided that, either and I had a lot of heart palpitations, something called POTS. So I had to make my decision. Am I going to lay here and be disabled and just, be broke and just let my life just go away? Or am I going to get up and fight? And I got up and decided to fight. So I was on short-term disability from December up until last month when I decided, my long COVID symptoms have improved some, but they're not going away enough for me to do active income. So I'm going to have to be smart, and I'm going to have to learn how to do passive income. And so I had to go through all of my savings to basically take care of me and my health. And I want to empower women and anyone that's disabled to not be in that position. When you have a contingency plan in place, you don't have to worry about getting ill. And I know for a lot of you that are single parents, it's hard enough being a mom, but it's 10 times harder when you're a single mom. So the last thing we want is to have to add illness on top of that. And so I've decided that I'm going to use this as an opportunity. Now that I'm legally disabled with long COVID, this is now my opportunity with God's help and with the help of the amazing Dimitri Mills. I'm now able to, be on this mission of empowering not only women, but people with disability, but anyone that has long COVID and single moms to know it's not over. You don't have to lose your house. You don't have to just go to having bad credit. You don't have to max out your credit cards. You can put a contingency plan in place right now today to where if you get ill like me, you're already prepared.
Veronica, this is such a great story to unpack, and we're going to do just that. Some of the nuts and bolts, that's what makes my show a little different, is we're going to talk about some of those main things that you did, because everybody hears success stories. Okay, yay, you can do it. You can get up and woo, conquer the world. But we're going to talk about what you actually did to make that a reality, because it's not easy. It's not, you can't just jump out of bed because you want to. There has to be steps, and people like Dimitri, that village, those people that have your back. And I love, Veronica, every time I talk to you, you're saying, I couldn't have done it without Dimitri. Dimitri's my right arm. I can't breathe without Dimitri. We all need friends. We need a village. So Dimitri, how do you fit into this? How do you know Veronica, and how do you fit into this story? Then we're going to unpack Veronica's story and some things she did to become a success again, even though it looked different, because many, many people right now need to pivot because of whether they're disabled or whether it's long-term COVID or any disability or anything that has seemingly derailed them.
Right. Thank you. So I've known Veronica for about 6 months. We met through a mutual friend. I heard her story, and I knew immediately that I had a way to help assist her and assist other people and assist the cause. It's not always about the person. It's about how we can make a difference in all the communities and all the people. And the reason why my role is so important to Veronica is a lot of people may have an issue today, but if we can talk to them before they have an issue, we can do preventative measures to prevent them from having financial constraints in their lives. And that's one of the biggest concerns we see, is that when a person has a financial constraint, they're using friends and family, they're consuming their savings account, or they're unable to work. So their income changes, not just for themselves, but for everyone in their family that they're associated with. So it's a systemic and domino effect. Go ahead.
Yeah. So with this, let's dive in a little deeper. So you have the average family. They're not, very wealthy. They're not very poor. They're, let's just say, middle. They're doing what they do. They have their jobs and they're making ends meet. But illness happens, whatever that is. Disability happens, whatever it looks like. Or maybe it was through the pandemic. So many of us had to completely pivot. Jobs are gone away. Or maybe they're worried about AI taking their job, and they have a job that AI could take their position down the road. Absolutely. So what position do they have to be in to come to you? And what is the first thing you do to help somebody that's saying, well, I don't have any money to invest, or I can't afford to put anything away. What do I do? They might be thinking of all things they can't. So tell us really, what does it take to say, okay, let's set up for your future?
Great question. The first and foremost thing we do is we look for what we call sleeping money. Money that's under your mattress, money that's in some investment that's not having a rate of return. Things that we can repurpose without changing the financial constraint on a person. You see what it's amazing, right? So now if we simply change a person's financial perspective and we haven't asked them for a penny, we just recategorize things. Now they're in an instantly better position. Okay. So now over time, as that financial position continues to grow, we look for ways to put a portion of that money to work, and we put it in work thinking about tax favor. We put it to work thinking about loss and kind of what we call upside and downside. So your ability to sleep at night and not worry that your money is not going to be there in the morning. We also take a look at long-term planning, because people often think about today, but they're not thinking about tomorrow. I can't tell you the number of clients that Veronica and I have that are, they're older and they haven't thought of some of these things. So they're still working because they have to. They're working because they had a sickness or someone was sick in their family and they chipped in. See, disability and illnesses don't only affect the person. Like I said, they affect everyone in the family.
Really good.
One of the biggest things we do is called living benefits. And that's if a person, do you know about that? You've heard of that? Okay.
That's good. Explain to them what that means. What is living benefits?
Absolutely. So if a person has a qualifying illness or injury, they get access to funds through a policy instead of having to consume money from their savings account or from friends and family. So it's your ability to create your own safety net. Now, in addition to that, if these policies are designed correctly, they also have a savings account component. So clients have access to money throughout the lifetime of ownership of the particular policy.
Is it expensive, or people probably think, well, how much does that cost? Or I don't have an extra penny around. I love what you said about sleeping money. You can find some extra money that's not really being utilized very well, which you might not be thinking of. But what is the average cost of starting a living benefit? And does everybody qualify for a living benefit?
Two great questions. So everyone has to go through a qualification process, okay? And that is based on your age, your health, male, female, pre-existing conditions, things of that nature. And there's no way to work around that.
Is it hard to get approved? I mean, it's
not hard to get approved, but every scenario needs an underwriting and approval process.
Okay, just like any insurance. Okay.
Right. It's just like any normal insurance, which is another reason why we advocate to get people when they're born into these get young, right? Because now the cost of acquisition is low. You have generally no conditions. So if something happens after in the future, you're already covered. Contingency planning from birth.
It reminds me back in the day, my age is going to show, but I remember seeing commercials for the Gerber life insurance plan. The minute your baby's born back in the 60s and 70s. I love commercials. You buy that for your baby when they're born. It was like the Gerber plan. Is there something like that? Which I didn't know, but
very, very similar. The Gerber it's a permanent policy in most cases, and it sticks with a person through the lifetime of that person. Or at least that's the goal, right?
But I like yours as living benefits, because there was a scenario that I heard, that, should you get cancer, you don't want your family to get the money when you die. You want to be able to utilize it for paying bills, for maybe extra medical expenses that don't get covered by insurance. That if you can have living benefits, you're able to live while you're going through something catastrophic. Am I correct?
That is 100% correct. We should work together. But not only do the living benefits serve as something in life, let's say it's a break glass in case of emergency, you never consume it, you still have that cash accumulation. So you still get access to funds for retirement or at death. So it serves 3 to 4 different functions. And that's really important. And you asked another question as far as cost.
Yes.
So there are generally 1 to 7 different kind of designs, for example. We have low cost, which is, those are called term policies, and those are for a specific period of time. Those are very inexpensive to get in, but they have a definitive date when they end. Okay.
What do you mean? Well, what's the difference? Like you get in for like $100 a month, but it's only good for 6 months.
Okay. Let's say it's more like $30 a month, but you have it for 30 years. But at the 31st year, you're 30 years older. So when they come back and do the underwriting and take a look at your age, pre-existing conditions, it may be more difficult. So now your renewal cost could be more expensive. Okay.
That's probably not the best route to go, but it's better than nothing, right?
Well, it depends on the situation, because it's a cost-effective vehicle. And then there's other things we do to supplement that at that time. So as a full wealth management, we're going to look at everything. Okay?
Gotcha. Okay.
Because the whole goal is to be covered. You see what I'm saying? To be covered.
Okay.
So then there's permanent policies. The permanent policies are a little more they cost a little bit more because it's a permanent policy for the life of the person.
Right.
But that's where I usually operate in, is the permanent policy arena.
Okay.
And cost kind of comes from one or two ways: what you can afford or what you're already spending. So what I mean by what you're already spending, if you're already spending money on your rent or in car payment, what if I told you that there's a way to use some of that portion of that money in your policy, and then we'll often give that money back in the form of a policy loan to our clients. So now they're able to double dip.
Oh, cool.
So now remember I talked about sleeping money? What about repurposing money? Repurposing existing money to give our clients a benefit.
You're so smart. You're so smart. I love that.
He's brilliant. Extremely.
I love that.
You see why I speak so highly of him? Extremely brilliant. Extremely brilliant.
But it makes sense, because I'm probably your perfect avatar that knows nothing about all that stuff. I people do all that, and I hate that side of the brain that works. I don't like to think about all that and figure it all out. You're making it so easy to understand, even for me. I know it's coming across very understandable, because as a cancer survivor, I know how important it is that you never know when your last breath will be, and you have family. And I know by being an entrepreneur how hard it is to get insurance and cover your family. There's just so much to adulting. And I just sometimes wear the sign, I don't want to adult today. Too much, too many decisions. And you're making it very easy to understand. So Veronica, let's go back to the storyline that you dealt with. You're working full time at Morgan Stanley. And then now this COVID stuff hits. Now you're not at your optimal. You said you couldn't walk and all this. So talk to us about how did you pivot? So with the listeners and viewers probably watching say, okay, I have to pivot. I still can't make that pivot. What did you do first? Did you make a call? Did you know Dimitri at the time? What was some of the first things you did when you said, I'm getting up and going to make a difference?
Good point. Well, first I'm going to give all thanks to God. God is the reason that I am in this position where I'm dressed up, talking and laughing.
Walking miracle. Yay.
Yeah. So for me, it started off, actually was a monk. His name is Ram that found me, and he prayed over me, and he would bring me different, I try not to cry. He would bring me different herbal drinks from his country. And
where did you meet him though? Where did you meet him?
I actually met him at the Home Depot, believe it or not.
All right, so you're just out and about. I like people to know that. Like, were you in a event?
When you're a single parent, you have to fix everything yourself. And so I had to fix something in my house myself. And I went to Home Depot. I was exhausted. And I went there and he was telling me about these books about the Lord. And I'm like, at that point, I wanted to give up on the Lord, to be honest. I wasn't thinking about the Lord. I was grieving my dad. I was angry that I had my dream career and I got sick with COVID a second time. And I was just angry. And he would pray with me. I had to pray and I had to give my life back to the Lord. And I thank him every day for that. And then I met David
Stratus. Veronica, because you're admitting you got angry, because people do. It's okay to feel the feelings, but you didn't stay there. That's the important thing. You didn't stay.
I gave my life back to the Lord. It's the best thing I ever did, was give my life back to the Lord. Amen. And decided that I had to give up my victim bed. And I didn't get to this point because of me. I have to give credit to the coaches that brought me to this place. So it was actually David Stratus that saw me at my absolute worst when I was depressed. I was anxious. And I'll be very transparent. I started drinking because I was angry. I had my dream career. I was excelling. I had to exceed expectations on my evaluation. You know, I had a manager that I absolutely adore. I love my firm. That was my dream life. And I was happy. And I was dancing, having a good time at this company Christmas party. And the next day, you know, you're sick and you can't work anymore. That wasn't what I envisioned at all. So I was angry, and I met David, and he made me inspired to know that I have to, you know, get out of my victim bed and decide, am I going to lay there and be depressed about being sick, or am I going to fight back?
Now, who is David?
I'm going to fight back.
Explain to viewers who David is. How'd you meet David?
David Stratus, he does energy with vampires, and he helps people to battle and face their inner vampires and vampires in your life. And my inner vampire was my negative thoughts that told me that I'm always going to be sick, I'm always going to be disabled, and this is my life. And I had to say, no, this won't be my life. I'm going to make a better life for me and my son. If I was able to get into Morgan Stanley as a minority woman to be very successful, then I'm not going to let my illness stop me. Mm-hmm. And I had to decide, I'm going to give up my victim bed, single mom or not, and I'm going to fight back. I don't care how tired I am. I don't care how many headaches I have. My son is going to have the best life. And so even when I'm tired, I put on my pearls and my makeup and I fix myself up, and I empower other single moms to do the same. Because there are a lot of single moms that give up and they're committing suicide right now because they're depressed or they have anxiety or they feel like they cannot provide for their child. And so thanks to Dimitri for supporting my mission, you know, and I support his mission. We can empower anyone. If you're disabled, if you're a single parent, it doesn't matter your race or background. You have a right to have wealth like everybody else. Mm-hmm. And if you have a contingency plan in place, you don't have to be stressed out. I'm a big advocate about being financially proactive and not reactive. If you have plans in place, you don't have to worry about being like me and getting sick and not, figuring out how you're going to pay your bills. You take care of your business ahead of time. And that's what I appreciate about him. I am passionate about telling people to have an individual life insurance policy in place and not just a group life insurance policy in place. Because a lot of people are getting laid off right now and then they have no life insurance policy in place. They think that, okay, like for me, I had short-term and long-term disability. I was getting paid short-term disability, which is a big income drop from what I was actually making at Morgan Stanley. Okay. I went from making with overtime, I was making 6 figures. So then I wound up making only $4,000 a month for short-term disability. Long-term disability would have only been $3,000 a month, but I have not received payment for long-term disability. And even then, I'm just being very transparent because I have consulted with attorneys. A lot of short-term and long-term disability will look for any reason not to pay you. If they're not violating guidelines, they'll look for any reason not to pay you. So for those of you that are going to work and thinking, I don't need to have a high-yield savings account in place, I don't need to have individual life insurance in place, I don't need to have any money put in stocks, real estate, or diversifying your portfolio, wake up call. You can get sick like me. And if you don't have those financial plans in place, how do you plan on providing for your children? And for women, I'm very passionate about empowering women to have financial policies in place. If your husband is the provider, that's a beautiful thing. But if he gets sick and he cannot run the business, who's going to keep the money coming in for the children in the household? It's going to have to be you, madam. I say this for all women watching. It's going to have to be you. Yes, if you have a man as a provider, that's beautiful. I love the soft woman era. You know, you want to relax, he pays all the bills. That's beautiful. But I also believe in being educated enough to have your own money supply. So
yeah, and I love what you're saying because I feel like just in the last 10, 15 years, people have become more aware of that. They don't just, go to school, go to college, get the job, stay there 30 years, get the gold watch and the pension at the end. So much turmoil has happened just in this century alone since 2008 and 2010 and all that stuff, just with so much shakeup. So hopefully people have really learned that lesson that you can't hope for the job always being there. And I love your telling people about how to have their own insurance policy, their own safety net, their own investments. So you can go from job to job, or so many people these days their dream is to be an entrepreneur, start their own business. That helps them so they're not enslaved to a job they don't love and that they want to get out of, but they're staying there like I've heard of in the 70s and 80s and 90s, even the beginning of this new century, which makes it sound old, new century, that they're stuck. They can't leave a job because they need the benefits. It's not a great job, but I need the benefits. How many times have we heard that? But I'm not hearing that as much anymore, thanks to people like the two of you that are helping the entrepreneur and the people have something they can take with them from job to job or be their own boss, have their own career. Is that right?
Yes.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm very passionate about telling everyone about having multiple streams of passive income. I cannot do a lot of active income right now. I do have a notary business, but I can only do that part-time. So I believe that everyone should actually be making money in your sleep, actually. So I do believe in teaching people about doing affiliate marketing, putting money in stocks, putting your money in ETFs, diversifying your portfolio, putting your money in real estate. You asked me how I met Dimitri. I actually met Dimitri through my real estate investing mentor, Otis James. I tell everybody right now, he's the king of real estate, investing. They're friends. He introduced me to Dimitri. And the both of them, including James Lewis, who is an amazing business consultant, by the way, they're a dynamic trio. So, I've only been on Clubhouse for a few months, and it's only because of my bubbly personality, maybe. I don't know. That I've been
if only we can get her excited, Dimitri. If only we can get a little more enthusiastic. Now, you're mentioning a word I've mentioned before on several episodes, and that's this word Clubhouse. Many people don't know about Clubhouse. It's not as famous as Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, but it's a viable platform that we met on that I love because it's an audio app and it's places we can go into rooms. I teach at rooms, I learn from rooms, and we meet people like each other, and we meet people like David and just so many amazing. I have a Grant Cardone's on there. So we meet the coolest people that give up their free advice. So I'm going to ask you a really, really important question. And Dimitri, I want you to also answer this after Veronica as well. How important is it, all money aside, forget whether you think you can afford it or not afford it. People always think, I can't afford help. How important was it and is it for you to get help and coaching and mentorship to help you get out of that bed, whether it's physically or whether it's emotionally, to get the right mindset to make a change in your life? Is it extremely very important or not kind of important?
Yeah, it's extremely important. When you can't pay your bills to feed your children, that is depressing. A lot of people will wind up actually going to drinking and other outlets. So finances, people say finances will make you happy. Yes, money does make you happy because if you can feed your family and keep the lights on, the heat on, that takes money. And in order for me to get my mindset
money
right,
brings you choices.
Yeah, I had to go through
Money
David
buys your
Stratus.
courses. Yeah.
Yeah, and I had to go through, Stars Tina. She's another mentor of mine. Queen Renee Noor. People like you that inspired
Renee,
me,
oh,
Araya.
love her.
Yes, I mean, I'm just, it's listening to your voices. When I was at that point where I really didn't have the energy to talk at all, it's powerful, amazing people like you, Araya, like Stars Tina, like on Clubhouse, there's Glenn Lundy. Glenn Lundy said a quote, what other people think of me is not my business. That's what I tell myself. Yes, I do have a disability and it's not easy, but what people think about me with my disability is not my business. I decided that I'm still going to provide a wealthy lifestyle for my son, and I want to empower other people to do the same. Please don't let your disability or your health discourage you. You have people like Dimitri, you have people like myself and others, amazing, you and your family. No matter your past, no matter your situation, if you've been through depression or anxiety, it doesn't matter. God, I'm a big advocate of the Lord. I'm not ashamed to say that I praise the Lord. He's the first priority. The Lord and my family are my priority before business, because I can't take care of serve anybody if I'm not serving my family and if I'm not serving my Lord first. That's the only reason I'm alive. If it wasn't for the Lord, I wouldn't be alive.
Fill up that cup. You got to fill up your own cups first. Absolutely. You are such a testimony and poster child for people who need people. And God made us that way, that we need each other. And you've got to find people that have a better mindset in a situation that you're in, and take advice from people who are where you want to be in that position. Like if people want to do podcasts or TV, then come to me. But don't come to me if you want financial, insurance, real estate. I'm not your person. Dimitri and Veronica are your person. So you're knowing the right people that have the right expertise in the area that you need. If you need to get up out of bed, get out of something, you need a mindset coach, then do it. And stop. My philosophy is stop thinking about how we can't afford it, and make some calls and find out what they have to offer. Because many great coaches, like myself and other people you just mentioned, have introductory offers. They have some free masterclass you can come to and get the ball rolling. Or they have creative ways, like Dimitri just said. You might be thinking, I have no money to invest. I can't afford insurance. But you didn't know until maybe we just started talking at the beginning of the show. There is passive money. There's money sleeping that you don't even know about, that we can have some creative funding and repurposing. So stop thinking of all the reasons why you can't or can't afford and thinking all that. Get answers, make phone calls, because there's people out there that have answers for you. Dimitri, what do you say?
I agree with you 100%. I often think that most people have limiting beliefs, things that prevent us from moving ourselves forward. It can be our cousin, it could be a family member, it can be something like that. I tried it once and it didn't work. One of the big things that Veronica and I do are we educate our community. Education is key. And you asked the question earlier about changing your social circle. I can't tell you how important that is. My mom showed me a picture of a beach and a palm tree. And she said, baby, how do you feel about this? And she moved me from Chicago to California. She was just thinking about giving me a better life. But what she did that she didn't realize, she changed my social circle. Right. Mm-hmm. So I thank her all the time. I was working at a company. I had a great salary, but I was at the top of my pyramid. I did Tony Robbins, John Maxwell. I met new people. I changed my social circle. So by changing my social circle and not, being the smartest person in the room anymore, I'm able to learn and grow and allow people or positive people to pull me forward. And that's the biggest things that we need, because that was the pivotal point in my life where my life changed the most at that point. I had done well on my own, but I can do better with the team and with the right people around me. And, that's something too, as far as Clubhouse and some of these other platforms go, you got to vet the people you're talking to. You got to make sure, right, that they provide the service that you want, at the cost you want, at the time frame they want, and that they have a feedback loop ability to continue to provide services for you. That's something that Veronica and I talk about all the time. How do we create a platform where a person just doesn't have a gym membership that they don't use? We want to create something that's usable, that gives them what they need, and provides the solutions that they're asking for. It's really important for us.
I'm very happy you said people have to vet people. I don't care if you're meeting them on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, at a network event, in the store, at Home Depot, wherever. You've got to do your due diligence. And just because somebody worked for somebody else, even referrals, may or may not be a good fit for you. So that's why I'm a big fan of, and I do this in my customer's journey, is having a way where people can experience you, because we all are different, and we let's say there's 1,000 other people that do Dimitri and Veronica, what you all do. There's thousands of other people that do what I do, but it's that DNA, it's that personality, it's that clicking, that, oh, I really like this person's style. That gets you the right people, the right clients that need to be in your space, whatever that may be. So I love giving, free masterclasses and free training all throughout the month. So what do you guys do where people can tap and say, oh, this is interesting. Gosh, I wonder if I could. Can I? Should I? Oh my gosh. And they want to get to know you better and experience you better. So what are some things they can do to experience you before making the big decision, or maybe just getting some ideas from you to take them to the next step?
Well, I invite people to send me a DM, because for those, we talked about people that can't afford it. I actually, because I'm a single mother, I'm actually very supportive of single mothers, of teaching them how to actually be in the position where they can afford it. I like to look at their budget. I like to, because I'm going to just be honest. When I was in my early 20s, I was spending money on beauty care products and not putting any money in the savings, and then telling somebody I don't have money for a coach. So I want people to feel comfortable to have a conversation with me. Okay, where are you putting your money? Let's look at your budget. Are you spending money eating out? Are you spending money where, it shouldn't be? And not putting any money into savings and then saying you can't afford it. Let's look at where are you actually spending your money. Because if you have $5, you can start saving for your child with $1. You can start saving with $5. It doesn't take much to be able to save. There is alternate ways too, I believe, where I show women how they can still feel beautiful on a budget. Maybe if they did lose their job, they can't go to the beautician like they always want to. But I can teach them and show them ways that I have taken where they can still feel good about themselves, where maybe they can't afford an expensive gym membership, but I make empowerment videos where they can go walking with their children so they can, because we believe health is your wealth. Right. So, and I believe that, Stars Tina and I do shows together where we help people get through, their trauma and deal with depression of, losing a loved one by just walking. You can work out in your home.
Yeah. So a lot of creative ways to do this. A lot of creative.
There's always creative ways to make it happen, to make money to get anything.
I think when you met up with the person you met at Home Depot, the monk that really changed your mindset, you can figure out anything, is what I'm hearing from you, Veronica. You just have to be determined and decide, and then the people show up and you start making these collaborations and realizing, okay, I don't have this money to spend that much for that, but I can still have that look or this coffee or whatever and still save $100 a month, because I just don't have to go to that place or get that brand. But there's creative way. And I think two heads are always better than one, because what I can think about in my budget and do, then you all together can think about probably 1,000 other things that we're not even thinking of, because this is what you all do every single day. It's not what anybody that doesn't do finances thinks about every day. And your brilliance is so important for people to tap into. Now, Veronica, before I get to Dimitri, you say DM. Remember, we're not on audio app right now. So where do people
apologize.
No, it's fine. We're on actual TV. Hello. So where do you want them to DM? What's your favorite social media platform? Or do you have an email?
Instagram. It's don't laugh, me, Aurea, but it's Veronica Atkins Financial Beast. Okay, that's my Instagram.
I love that. Veronica Atkins Financial Beast. Yes. Take that hashtag. You got it. I love it.
Yes.
All right, so Instagram. I love it.
You can also find me on Facebook as well. So it's under Veronica Atkins, but and I have multiple businesses. So National Notary Enterprise is my notary business. Good Fortune Investment Realty is my real estate investing business. And the Donald G. Boone Foundation is my financial business. Wonderful. And I'm collaborating with the amazing Dimitri, but they can reach me anyway. And
I'll put that in the link below. I'll put it in the descriptions too. It's these days when people say, go ahead, reach out to me. Okay, do you want to text? Do you do Instagram? Do you LinkedIn, Facebook, Clubhouse? It's like, and I get messages all day long. The billionaire in the making is the one that makes one spot that brings all of those together. It doesn't matter where somebody messages, we get it in one spot.
Right. You're right.
Anybody want to create that app? It's probably already in the making.
I'm actually working on that app, but a dynamic QR code where we can bring all these companies together in one platform simply with the QR code.
Nice.
So we can connect, and it's on my website now. So we're piloting right now. So that is definitely something we're looking at.
And he speaks multiple languages, and he's in a different country every couple of weeks. So if you have anybody that speaks Spanish that's interested, he actually does speak multiple languages. And so the only reason I'm even able to add international to my financial empowerment coach part is because of Dimitri. He's 100x'd everything that I'm trying to do with my business, and I'm so grateful to him for being supportive of my mission.
That's great. So Dimitri, what do you want to tell us about how people can chime into you and experience you? Because finances is a very personal topic. It's not just like losing weight or finding cosmetics or hair, whatever. It's people's money. And people just don't give that lightly or invest that lightly. They really need to know, like, and trust someone before they take that leap. We've had so many, like you said, people in history that have done people wrong, got to vet people. So tell us a little bit how they can experience you before they make those decisions.
Sure. So I believe in fiduciary assignments. I believe in best interest for my clients. That's first and foremost.
Big word. What's that? Fiduciary.
Well, so basically, I'm going to put a client in a position that looking at all the tools that I have access to, what's the best for the client, not what's financially beneficial for Dimitri. It's always the client is first and foremost. I can't tell you the number of cases I write where I'm not even making commission or making commission at some future date because it gives our clients an immediate benefit, which if you look at the world, generally, there's more people in need than there are people that don't have need. So there's more clients, there's more people that we can help, if that makes sense. So I always want to.
Absolutely. Is that a free consultation?
Yeah, of course. Absolutely.
Nice. Okay, good. So they can reach out to you. And how do people reach out to you? We will put it in the description, but just you can tell us over the air too, how to get a hold of you.
Fantastic. So on my website, I have a link and it goes right to the consultation page. They can QR code like I talked about, or just go ahead and type it in the normal way, but it's instant. And Veronica and I are putting together training videos because education is just so important. Really so we want people to have a platform where they can go listen, learn about us before they even meet us. So that way it also allows us to reach more people. You got a question?
Yeah, you're watching me. I like that. The wheels are spinning. I want to ask you guys this because we talked about this a little bit before about the earlier the better. What say you both about getting this education into the schools, going into the high school, even freshman year, and get them, because again, they're just taught reading, writing, and arithmetic. Go get to college. Girls are thinking, oh, I'll just get a good job, I'll marry or whatever, and I'll just be rich and famous, whatever it is. But there is no plan B. There's nothing working for them should the unthinkable happen, or should they want to stay home for a year after they have their first child, or whatever it is. Money buys you choices. I love that. So I'm always thinking, don't we need to be teaching this in the schools? Because I don't know if they're doing that or not yet.
Absolutely.
Yes, I do. I don't leave so when I became a disability advocate, it didn't start with myself. My son actually has a disability. Okay. When my child was in second grade, they told me he would never be able to read. My son is now an honor roll student, 16 years old, preparing to go to Emory. I don't leave my child's education to the school system. I've been playing financial games with my child since he was about 2 years old. Okay, he actually has a disability, and you would never know my son has a disability. You can watch him on a video with me on Instagram speaking. He's more articulate than some grown men. Okay, he studies from morning to night, and he's only 16 years old. And they told me he would never be able to read. Okay, not my child. So I had to advocate for my child in the school system because they wasn't giving him the quality level of education that he deserves. And I do live in a good community. I worked 3 jobs to live in the community that I live for my son, and he still wasn't getting the quality level of education that he deserves. So I don't leave it up to the school. I tell all parents, you don't leave it up to the school system. Educate your children when they get home. We play money games together. I set my child up for financial success. I had to break my back almost to keep that credit card so that by the time my child, he will have an 800 credit score. My son will not have to depend upon getting student loans to go to college. So this is why I'm so passionate about this, especially for single mothers. When you are taking care of your financial business, you're setting your children up for success. It's not about us. It's about setting your children up for success. You can put money into an IRA, you can put money into stock, you can put things in to the side for your children right now. My son has a 529 savings account in place already. Okay, I put that in place for my son so that I can set him up for financial success. And when I support Dimitri, there's a lot of people out here that talk about finances. This man got on a discovery call with me and actually helped a woman that was behind on her gas bill for free. He did that for free. Okay, now I'm going to be honest. He's in a completely different income bracket than me. It's a big blessing to have him in my life. But he does this because he is very passionate about helping people, genuinely passionate. He's not one of these people trying to get over on you, take whatever little bit you have to make himself wealthier. He's actually passionate about it. And that's why he has my 1000% support. And thank you, Aurea, because I have admired you for so long. So to have this opportunity means the world to me.
I'm just glad to be able to do it for you. You guys you're so needed in the world. You're so needed for single moms and just everyone, because the world had to make a pivot when the pandemic came. It was such a leveling field when that happened that there wasn't anybody that wasn't affected. So many people had to pivot. So many people had to deal with the loss, and we got like an eye opener of who had the savings, who didn't, and then to be able to turn around and help those who didn't was really important. And I'm like you, probably both of you, I believe you can outgive God, and you can give your last 3 widow's mites like the woman did in the Bible and still be okay, because when you're giving, God's going to make sure you are getting what you need as well. So that's a beautiful thing that you talked about, Dimitri, doing that. So important, having that caring, giving heart. That's one premise of this show. I always want people to earn more, live more, but then that's give back more. It's so important, because there's so many people that will never have the ability to do all the right things that you're talking about. And we need to make more so we can help more people that don't have those options for whatever reasons. Maybe they don't even live in this country and you want to help them. And they just don't have the means to do anything for themselves, and we can help them. So really, really good. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Also, one last
That's
thing.
my motto.
What's your motto?
I'm sorry.
It's have more, do more, give more. It's
I love that.
a simple motto, And the other thing I wanted to say is that, so I partnered with a company called Unit Buoy. Unit Buoy has already connected with all of the UC schools across California on how to reduce the cost of education, or cost that students are spending. So that by reducing their spend and giving them exactly what they need, we're able to put more money in their pocket. And then partnering with me, I'm able to teach them these other financial strategies. Nice. And I'll give you their link, but it's amazing, the reach that we have now with the educational system.
Oh, I'm so glad. That's so good to know, because we've got to get that into all school systems.
Yes,
because,
absolutely.
Veronica, I want to go back to you. You want to say something, and also you were saying it's really important for the parents, but sometimes, like those single moms, they don't know how to teach their kids about it. So it's like, where do you turn? How do we teach them something we don't ourselves know? So I want you to finish your sentence. Go right ahead.
The last thing I want to say is I'm very passionate about people studying law. If you study nothing else, study the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau laws and the billing notice era. If you're going through a financial hardship, you can actually call your bank and tell them that you're going through a financial hardship with your credit card. And there are programs in place. Like, I know I have multiple banks, but one bank is with Navy Federal. And they can put a plan in place actually where they can put you up for like 12 months to have 0% interest in your credit cards. So if you are going, please do not miss your credit card payments because you're too embarrassed to say you don't know how to pay it. At least just call your credit card companies, call your bill collectors, and let them know, I don't have the money right now. Do you have a financial hardship for me? Because they do. They do have a financial hardship.
No. Okay. She froze up again.
Don't feel like you feel guilty for asking them, tell them you're going through hardship. They're giving money by the government to provide you with that support. It's better to give them a call and put a plan in place to make a minimum payment than to not pay anything at all. And you could also contact me and I could talk to you about, I've done a medical study that paid $14,000 in 4 weeks. I've got another medical study in November. It's paying me $15,000 for 2 weeks. There are ways to
medical study. What do you mean medical study?
So researchers pay thousands of dollars for different people. So they look for healthy men or women. They can look for long haulers. They look for people with diabetes. There's different medical studies, but medical researchers will literally pay thousands of dollars because you can't just put medicine out. It has to be FDA approved.
Yeah.
So before it goes through that process, there are medical studies that take place that will pay thousands of dollars. Like, there's so many ways to do affiliate marketing. I'm affiliate marketer for multiple people. I mean, Expedia has it, Amazon has it. And for people that are disabled, I know I spoke with someone at Amazon. They are actually looking for people that are disabled because they get paid extra money to hire people with a disability. And as of July 2021, if you have substantial limitations, you are considered legally disabled. So, newsflash, if you're having brain fog, if you have depression, anxiety, there's specific lists by the American Disability Association, which I am a member of the American Disability Association, and I will be a board member disability link. There is a specific list. Some of you are disabled and don't even know it, and you qualify for programs that you don't even know you qualify for. And so that's why I'm so passionate about telling people to contact me, because you might be feeling discouraged and not even knowing you have access to all these resources to help you out of your financial situation.
Veronica, you just said a mouthful. That's so fantastic. I hope
I'm
everybody
so
will.
passionate about this.
I love that. I love that. You know, you're going to win people over just with your passion. But I love that you were in that boat because people want to take advice from people who have been there and done that, not just learning from a book and in all statistics. You are living, breathing proof of all of this works, and you have insight. So when people get a hold of you, do you go through some kind of survey or some kind of application or form where you help them
I do a
know
free
what's
discovery
best for
call.
them before they even make any decisions?
Yes, I do a free discovery call to hear what is their situation and to help them to get from, because my goal is to take people from wherever they're at now and to set them up for wealth. A lot of people right now are maxing out their credit cards and trying to appear as if they're wealthy. I want to actually empower people to pay off those. If you're paying all this interest to the bank and you're having $1,000 car note with this high interest rate to impress people, that's not success. That's just trying to flex for people so that you can look like the Joneses and get their approval. There are actually ways that you can take steps to be debt free, be financially free, and financially empowered. Because pay my gas bill. How am I going to pay the mortgage and the rent? You can't relax with your husband or wife.
Veronica, say that again. Say it again. You did what?
You cannot. I believe that people can't relax with their loved ones when they're financially stressed about paying their bills. I mean, it's actually, finances is so important to me because I don't want to see people living their last years of their life stressed about money, stressed about bills. That's energy that you're supposed to be using, relaxing with your husband, with your wife, with your kids, not spending 16 hours in the office stressed out about bills in traffic all day and then you die. Like, that's not living. So
you're giving everybody hope. So they can chime in. You have the discovery call and get some hope. At least get some kind of strategy plan. Whether they take action or not, that's up to them. You can lead them to the water. You can't make them drink. But I think a discovery call with you would be so important just to find out their options because we don't know what we don't know. And if this is not your wheelhouse and you're watching the show or listening on a podcast and it's not your wheelhouse, what is it? Or just to get some more information, just to have in your toolbox to see if you want, can make some changes, which if you're needing changes, this is, one great option. Now we're going to close up in just a minute. So what I want you to do is, Dimitri, give me your closing words out. If you could say anything to someone who is out there thinking, oh my gosh, I need to do something different. They're, let's say older, because I get a lot of people that watch the show and they're over 40. Is it too late? What can they do? Give us some closing words of, let's say, the woman over 40 who wants to do something for retirement, but not sure what that could be.
Yep. So the biggest thing I can tell people is to do something. And the best time to do it is now. People constantly procrastinate and they come to me because someone in their life had some traumatic experience and now they want to get the ball rolling. We got to act today, people, ladies and gentlemen. You got to think about your financial future today because not only can something or sickness affect you, there's also other cars on the road. There's other things that are happening that you don't have control over. So you got to think about that as well. So my big thing is act and do something. It doesn't have to be with me or Veronica, but please do something with someone. That's it.
Great advice. I was hit by another car last December head on. I mean, they made the illegal turn right in front of me and my airbag went off and that quick, my life could have been gone that quick. Body did change. I had injuries and you don't know, you're not planning on that. And it happens in a flash.
It really does.
Really, really important.
We don't have control over like the foods we eat. There's so many things we just don't have control over. So just have a plan, guys.
That's so important. I love that, Dimitri. And you're making it so user-friendly and y'all are making it so understandable. And you're making it also, I feel very comfortable with you all as well. There's no judgment. There's no, what do you mean you don't have any savings there? You did what? You're spending what? It's so user-friendly. It's so warm. It's so, okay, here's we are. Here's how we can help. Here's some things you can do without judgment. And I really love that because so many people, like Veronica was saying, feel guilty. Feel like, oh my gosh, I should be better off by now. Or how did I get here? Or I make such stupid mistakes, so I don't get it. You don't make them feel the guilt. You're just like, okay, let's find solutions. You're very easy to talk to and that's why I want to have you on the show too, because people will like you and people do business with people they like and they're felt comfortable. So Veronica, your closing words, what would you like to say?
My closing words that everybody deserves financial peace. If I am a minority woman that is disabled, I know what it feels like to go from that 1-bedroom apartment to my 3-level house. I had to work hard for it. There's so many people right now that are dealing with depression that are spending money looking for happiness and looking for peace. They're maxing out their credit cards just looking for some peace and some happiness and some sort of fulfillment. That's not where it's going to come from. It's going to come from, for me, it comes from us, from my spirit. And it comes from us loving one another. And I love and support Aurea because she is really passionate about supporting and helping people. As long as I've heard her on Clubhouse, she has always been passionate about helping people. This is a major opportunity that I'm so grateful for. And it's such an honor to be of service to her because she is genuinely passionate. So I want you to know, no matter your race, age, no matter your disability, no matter what you're going through, you deserve financial peace. It's just time for everybody to have peace spiritually, mentally, and financially. And please, and just enjoy your life.
So well said. So well said. Oh my gosh, you both are such a blessing. I'm so honored to meet you both. You're serving the community. You're serving others with your whole heart. But if we could just get Veronica a little more excited, a little more passionate, make a difference in this world. I don't know. And I love that. There's nothing worse than somebody having all the great answers, but it doesn't come out in what they're saying. So I'm so glad you are just so oozing over with wanting to help, and that will come across, and people will, have those discovery calls with you. And I look forward to having you back on next year and find out some of the success stories you've had, and we'll, bring some of them on, and people can change their life, because we always need to pivot. The one thing we can count on in life is change will happen. So we have to be ready for that.
Yes. And if I could do anything to be of service to you, Aurea, show you my support. You have been going on Clubhouse showing everybody else support. If I could do anything to be of service to you, madam, it will be an absolute honor.
Oh, thank you so much. You're amazing. Well, absolutely. I'm so glad to know you. So glad we had this time together, and so glad you can help so many other people. And we'll be doing more. This is just the beginning for all of us, because I believe wholeheartedly it takes a village to live our lives. It takes a village to make a difference and to really make an impact, and to start, missions, and to start really great movements, instead of just living day to day, paycheck to paycheck, month to month, and just wondering where is it going to come from. So thank you for helping us all think about the strategy.
Thank you.
Thank you for giving everyone hope. Your websites are below. They'll be in the descriptions. Thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoyed immensely having Veronica and Dimitri here, giving you all hope that you can earn more, passively earn more, live more, and give back more, and not have to be so stressed out. That's that living part. What is the point of surviving if you're not thriving? So thank you all for hitting the nail right on the head. Until next time, this is Aurea McGarry signing out from Get Celebritized. Have a great